a community, we're a bit weak. Let's be honest. We're very weak when it comes
Wallahi,
to our issues and being collective and coming together. We're not as
back in the day,
effective as
maybe
we should be.
not so much anymore.
Well, you
Back
could
in the
argue
day, yeah.
otherwise.
Well, back in the day, I would agree with you. Now, not so much. Wallahi.
Yeah, probably. But I just think we could be doing more. We should be doing more. Um, you're saying that there's more today than before, but I don't see the evidence for that. There's no communal meetings. When was the last time you went to a community meeting and discussing our issues?
Mm.
It doesn't happen.
Today.
That's the online thing, bro. We're talking about
What do you
we're
want?
talking
The
about
elders,
we're talking about our neighborhood. We're talking about our neighborhood. We're talking about the borough. We're talking about this area, bro.
We've got Mahanko de la Camden, bro. One of the directors in Mahanko de la in the Camden Council is one of our own, bro. One of our close
What
friends.
does that mean? What does that mean, bro?
So
You
that
can
means,
be like you can have a Somali in the 10 Downing Street. It doesn't mean anything, brother. You know,
no,
all
okay.
these people, you want to see them in shelves. It's good. What do they contribute? What do they do? How are they connected to the
So
community?
I think that
yes.
the issue I think Mukhtar is
So
having.
so how do we measure progress is the question that we should be asking them, right? Let's ask that question instead of making Hankud saying, what are they doing? Say, okay, what KPIs, what key indicators are we using, or should we use to measure whether there's progress or not?
Involvement. Who's involved in the community? Who's contributing?
What does that question like? Involved in what exactly? The community. When you say community, this very very broad. Mafante, like when you say in the community, bro. Yani, there are legit organizations doing their small part, doing their part as small as it may be. Wallahi, do you understand? In the end, and though it might not have the spotlight or the big impact, wallahi, something is better than nothing. Do you understand? And there's plenty of organizations doing their part, and it's very easy for us to ridicule or say, oh, they're not doing enough. But guess what? Wallahi, they're doing something. Do you understand? And that is better than complaining and watching. And wallahi, there's one thing that I love, Mafanti. Life goes on. Do you understand? They will do their thing and try to contribute as much as they can, and it's better than nothing. So okay.
But that's the question, Abshir. You've already put a limit. You've already put a limit on them. You're saying they're doing what they can. Are they living up to their potential? Are they doing as much as they should be?
So the question is, how can we help? The question is, how can the community get involved? We don't throw the responsibility on these small people that are doing whatever they can and putting the finger at them as soon as they don't show up to do their potential. We join, contribute, and say, okay, what can we do? How can we help? But really, truly, Somali delay is no one's stepping up. Do you understand? No one's, and when you do step up, they're skeptical, bro. There's always an agenda. Do you understand? They're like, no. This person wants to do this. That's a disease of the heart. But guess what? Wallahi, life goes on.
That's a cultural disease.
And I'll tell you one thing as well. I'll tell you one thing, which is a fact, Akhi. Wallahi, people respect you when you're dead, bro. But while you're alive, they'll never trust you, or they'll be like, but when you die, and then all the good stories come out all of a sudden, they were like, rah, my guy did a lot, or she did a lot, or this and that. So before then, halis awi, help each other, lift each other up, and wallahi, watch each other grow. And anyone's gonna be skeptical, wallahi, let them be skeptical, alone and sad, and was depressed on their ones, fam. Whereas everyone else, come on board. Come on board. Let's grow, wallahi.
So onto that point, yeah. There's become like a for me, from my point of view, there's become an over reliance on authority to
be the authority. Wallahi, be the authority. Be that representation.
That's what I'm saying. So, for
Yeah.
example, I live in a council flat, yeah, and our parks are rubbish. Our like the bins are not taken out at certain times. Like, but what's stopping us from getting together, the whole flat, and saying, listen, let's clean it ourselves, bro. Bundy's lot. Why we have to wait for them to do it all the time? Let's just clean it ourselves.
Or
Let's fix
you
our parks.
collectively, man could voice your concern and make a real ruckus until they fix it. You know,
Or
some
like
people
for
are getting
example,
paid.
one
Accountability.
one guy I was who started organizing, and he lives in Jamal's building, so he started organizing his building, yeah, and then it had a little effect on our building as well. So he started organizing for his building, and he said, you know that when you pay your bill, like your rent, part of it there's a thing that says security. Do you ever see it like part of the
Yeah. Maintenance
so
and that. Yeah.
maintenance, the security, all this here is in there. And he said, you know that legally we can withhold that and get our own security if it's not adequate enough. Like we got this security that's supposed to be going around and protecting the area when there's drugs being sold right here and nobody ever does anything about it. So he said, legally, what we can do is we can withhold that money. Camden will still take it, but they can just funnel it back to the TRA. They call TRAs. I forgot what they stand for. Tenants, something. Anyway, and funnel it back so it can be used with it for the tenants in the area. And I said, yeah. Why do we always? Because councils are never step up to take responsibility themselves. They're always giving out contracts to someone else.
Subcontract, yeah.
Yeah, the public sector is shagakale. That's we can spend the whole episode on that.
And so exactly, and so the company that comes in, they're taking shortcuts because they want to maximize profits. So the guys that they send they're probably contracted to send these guys to be here 7 days a week from 9 at night till 6 in the morning. But you probably see these guys once or twice a week. That's it. So they probably share them, they'll get the contract for this area and that area and that area, and then use only one patrol car to to use the whole area.
Yeah, there's no accountability, or that's the thing. Is the accountability once again?
Yeah,
It's
so
like who's doing the chasing up? Oh, don't worry, it's just a bunch of foreigners. They ain't got a clue.
yeah, exactly.
The damn person though. Let me tell you what they do. They freaking complain, bro, and that's one thing that we don't do. You know why? Because we're complacent.
Yeah.
So complain the hell out of the thing, bro. Hold your councilman accountable, your council ladies accountable, and cook out that cut. Say, what the hell are you doing, bro? What, you want my vote? All right, cool. Do this,
That's
You know what I
exactly
mean?
it. They're relying on our complacency like that.
Trust me, they're like, oh, no, that's an easy vote. They're going to vote for Labour. You know what? Screw you, bro. If Conservatives, okay, I'm not saying vote Tory, but if Labour, if these lot are going to do it, then my vote's going to go for that. Or whatever, just make your voice like obviously leverage your voice as much as you can.
That's it, and that's it. And anything that's not done, or they're unwilling
hold
to
them
do,
accountable. Yeah,
bro, hold them accountable,
put them to shame.
and then do it yourselves. I don't see. I see there's power in community, man. There's that Somali
100%.
saying.
Yeah, there is. There is.
Quran sha'arute mula'i jidda.
Yes.
You had that saying. So, if a community can get together, bro, we can achieve madness.
Yeah, me, I'm not on that. You know my stance on these kind of things, bro. I think me, fuck a handout, bro. I don't give me no hand. Don't worry, we'll do it. We'll get it done. And
That's it.
and all you do is just galvanize the like-minded and get things done. Next thing you know, always just if it's not being done, be the first. And then like-minded people, that's what they need. They just need to see someone to test the waters. And they'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do it as well. Let me jump on board. My guy is on point. And then next thing you know, you've got a movement.
It's an inspiration.
Exactly.
Like people are scared to make the journey because they don't know it entails. Like, are they gonna survive that journey or not? So, but once they see someone make it, for example, I think there was a good example, like a certain, what was it, 4 miles in under a certain time. Like,
Yes.
it was never done before, yeah,
Mhm.
until one guy did it, and since he's done it, like, I think about 1 million people have done it,
Exactly.
because everyone was just saying, "No, that's impossible."
Exactly. It's impossible until it's possible.
Yeah. So once people see it, that's where the backing is at. And I've got like for me, I've got like a plan, and part of me is like that fear as well. I'm trying to overcome that fear of what is it? What if it doesn't work? What if I lose everything? What if
Yeah.
all of this stuff is in your head, isn't it? Like you're fearing. But I'm trying to force myself to just try and get out of there and just put yourself out there. If it what's the worst that can happen? Yeah, I lose everything, whatever. Yeah, at the end of the day, I still got some sort of a safety net in it, like that they can always I can always go back to my mum's house.
No, it's wallahi, exactly. You should never let fear stop you, wallahi. And yani, me, one of my biggest drives is like, okay, the knowledge of my only one depend on that, right? We're all gonna go one day, right?
Yeah.
Just pave the way to make life easier for whoever comes after you. You know them ones. Like, be that role model, facilitate wherever you can facilitate, and just say, hey, God, do you understand? I've done my time, I'm out of here. You know?
Like the relay racing, innit? Like
exactly. You just
your
pass the
job is
button.
to go, pass it, and let them run with it, bro.
Exactly. These lot are they got a head start. You know what I mean?
And
They got a head
sometimes,
start,
sometimes the problem here comes the shaitanic problem that always infects our community is we're afraid to let go. So, for example,
I'm trying to change that. Yeah,
I know you started this thing called
Let go of what?
Somalis in Tech, right? You started this social enterprise.
Mhm.
So if you've taken, like, if you've started it, you founded it, if you can only take it so far, and there's other people you can see that could take it to another level, why try and hold, like, our community try and hold on to things? So they can say I'm the president of this, I'm the CEO of that.
This is a conversation for another episode. We're gonna have I can talk at length about that, you know. But for now, let's call it a day.
All right.
But like in wallahi, it's honestly, yeah. But let me tell you one thing though. Times are changing, you know. Times are changing, and skepticism is dying, you know. And if it's not dying with everyone, don't worry. Those ones, it's just the evolution process, right? So, كواس متقنع ولا قطع. You'll see them holding on to wherever they're holding on to, like
But that's I don't think
the ones that are trying to. It's
not to be skeptic. Not to be skeptic. You know why it won't die?
Right.
It's in a culture. Not to be skeptic.
But culture is not culture changes with time. Culture is not something that remains forever.
We have a very strong culture in it, so I don't know.
Not necessarily, bro. Right now, yani, you can see right now how confused the younger generation are. So if our culture was so strong, bro, we wouldn't have a couple of issues that are kind of coming to light nowadays. But like in culture is something which is we are.
I think those are two different things, because there are people who are outside the culture. They don't follow the culture, but the culture is still there and it's very strong. A lot of it is good, a lot of it is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if there's Islam and there's non-practicing Muslims, you know. So we have a lot of.
But like, there's nothing There's nothing, Hada, for example. Okay, so Hada, for example, the question is, what do we accept as our culture, and what do we ascribe to as our culture as never changing, and what don't we? Do you understand? And that's another conversation we're gonna have, Ahmed. And Mukhtar. So what's it called?
What's the constant and what's the variables that could change?
Exactly. You know. So and what is culture? That's a whole subject, but that's a freaking topic, bro.
All right,
So,
we'll end it there, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna try and chop this up to like 3 segments of a video. That
it's
way,
too long, bro.
it's too long, so I'm gonna chop it up to 3 different topics because we touched upon a few different topics. But yeah, if you guys like the content, subscribe, like, share it with everyone. Until next time, peace.